All right, Islam, and happy Holy Day, Moors. Without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. If you're able to, please rise and face the east for the Moorish American prayer. Allah,
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 the Father of the universe,
Father of the universe, Father of the universe,
the Father of love,
Father of love,
truth,
truth,
peace,
peace,
freedom,
freedom,
and justice.
and justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector,
my guide,
my guide,
and my salvation.
and my salvation.
By night,
And by day,
and by day.
and by day.
Through his holy prophet,
Through his holy prophet,
Drew Ali.
Ali.
Amen.
Amen. Islam.
Islam. All right. I want to announce that the meeting is now open. First and foremost, we always rise to give the highest praise to the Most High Father of the universe, Allah. We always give honors to our divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for returning us to our divine creed and nationality, teaching us about it, and also establishing a society for us. We give honors to the forerunner to the prophet, our brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We give honors to all the sheiks, all the adepts, all the faithful Moors that make up the grand body of the Moorish divine and national movement. We also give honors to our brother, the first appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh by the prophet, and that's Brother Millie Ill. We also give honors to the current Supreme Grand Sheikh, our brother K. Dandridgel. Excuse me. Also honors to the Grand Council of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and honors to all you Ills and Bays in attendance. Islam, Islam, Islamism. Now, Brother Jackson Bey, if you would please read the Divine Constitution and bylaws.
Islam, I rise giving perfect praise to Allah, the Father of the universe, and honor to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and honor to the Muslims. Salvation, Allah, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and bylaws. Act 1, the Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2, all meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member, members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his father God Allah. Noble Jew Ali, founder, Moorish American Prayer, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Jew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America. Home office of Noble Jew Ali. Home office, Chicago, Illinois, USA. Islam, Islam, Islamism. Happy Holy Day, Muslims.
Islamism. All right, thank you, brother. Islam, how you Moors doing?
Well,
excellent.
We doing well.
Vibrations rising.
Islam. So we're gonna be doing chapter 19 today. Hang on a second. Right. Who all thinks they'll be able to make it to the Serpent Mounds on Sunday?
the Jones Bay family gonna be there.
Islam.
Seymour's going to be there.
Islam.
Chef Shaw Baker will be here.
All right, Islam. Okay. Yeah, we were thinking that we should meet an hour earlier instead of at 2:30. We should meet at 1:30, and that's because they close the parks at I think 4:00 instead of 5. I know that they pushed the time up an hour. They just did that just now because of the whole pandemic thing.
Islam, well, I may not be able to be there because I get off around 4:00.
Oh yeah. It's not gonna work then because that's when they're closing things down.
Islam, so instead of 2:30, coming like 1:30.
Yeah, we want to push the time up an hour.
Okay.
All right.
Islam, false alarm. I am off for it. Praise Allah.
All right, Islam.
I'm down for 1:30. I was already gonna see who's gonna be up there the earliest, so I can set up or go to whatever facility, see what type of facility we in. We're gonna be in like a party or convention room or something like that.
No. Yeah, they don't allow that right now.
So we just gonna be congregating like in the around the Serpent Mound area.
Yeah. Like for now, I mean they have, the bathrooms, all this, the facilities are open like that, but not like the rooms, I guess, that they have like for parties and stuff. They just have like the I guess you could say like the bench areas or whatever and the grills. So like we actually could use the grills if we want to.
So we're gonna be outside. We're gonna be outside the whole time.
Yes.
Okay.
Islam, do we have a tent for this occasion, or is it just a canopy type setup?
Islam, because of the whole social distancing thing, they don't really want large gatherings, so we couldn't, get any rooms or preserve any areas. But she did say all of the tables and picnic areas, all that stuff is open and it's on a first come, first served basis. So, whichever one of us get there, if there's a table available, just grab it and then just let us all know. We'll all meet there in that space. Islam.
Islam.
Okay, Islam. All right.
Islam, I just want to say something before we get started, man. I miss y'all, brothers and sisters, man. I wish this COVID didn't have us separated like this. Islam.
Islam. Yeah, hopefully this will be over soon.
Yeah, and we're just going to the mountains, for the experience. Like I said, there's some energies out there, and I just want to experience the whole Serpent Mounds, and with all of us congregating together. I mean, I think it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Islam, no doubt.
Islam. All right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. If anybody has any questions, anything they want to add about this chapter, feel free to speak up, and then of course the floor will be open after this. So chapter 19, Jesus appears fully materialized to the Eastern sages in the palace of Prince Ravana in India, to the Magian priest in Persia. 3 wise men speak in praise of the personality of the Nazarene. Ravana, a prince of Egypt, gave a feast. His palace in Orissa was the place where men of thought from the farther east were wont to meet. Ravana was the prince with whom the child Jesus went to India with when he was 12 years old. The feast was made in honor of the wise men of the East. Among the guests were Minxed, Vidyapati, and Lamas. The wise men sat about the table talking about the needs of India and the world. The door unto the banquet hall was in the east. A vacant chair was at the table to the east. And as the wise men talked, a stranger entered unannounced and raised up his hand in benediction, said, "All hail." A halo rested on his head, and light, unlike the light of the sun, filled all the room. And Jesus sat down in the vacant chair. And then the wise men knew it was the Jewish prophet who had come. And Jesus said, "Behold, for I am risen from the dead. Look at my hands, my feet, and my side." And I'm just going to pause right there, just kind of to reflect on what this means with Jesus appearing to the sages. Remember, with the chapters 2 through 19, we're in the last one, speaking about the prophet Jesus' life, giving the hidden keys that are necessary for the awakening of all of our people, that which was not taught to our people in the church. And so with Jesus appearing to the sages, let's just reflect on the meaning, with him being in the tomb for 3 days. When you look at 3 days, right, from a spiritual, or just looking at the esoteric perspective on that, the 3 days that Jesus was in the tomb represent the 3 steps in overcoming error. The first one is non-resistance and humility. Then the second one is the taking on of divine activity, or accepting the will of God. And then the third would be the fulfillment of divine will. And so when you look at it from that perspective, these are tools, that we can use in our everyday life. This is something that can be applied to everyone, right? This is also how you can manifest in the physical realm right here and now, bringing things from the unseen into the seen. And that's the 3 days that Jesus was in the tomb, can also, because it can have multiple meanings, but it also can represent the 3 steps in overcoming error. The first is non-resistance and humility. The second is the taking on of divine activity, or put it another way, is accepting the will of God. And then third is the assimilation and fulfillment of divine will. Okay. And with Jesus overcoming death, okay, what he's showing, what he's proving, the Christ man goes through the various centers of the body and rebuilds them with his word. The abiding consciousness of life refills every cell of the body with its quickening energy, and the body becomes immortal. And then to reiterate to what I was saying at first about the 3 days or the 3 steps, the 3 days that Jesus was in the tomb represent the 3 movements of mind that are involved in overcoming error. Remember, we said the first is non-resistance and humility. Second is taking on a divine activity or receiving the will of God. And then the third is the assimilation and fulfillment of divine will. All right, so yeah, people aren't giving us those keys, but it's important to understand that, and you can apply that to your life now and gain insight from it. So
Islam.
Islam. Somebody have a question?
I was just gonna say, when you brought them 3 days out, it brought me back. What jumped in my mind was the ladders and how you broke down each day. I lined each day up with the belief, faith, and then fruition. That's how it kind of lined up to me. I just wanted to add that.
Islam. Let's look at that again, because belief, faith, and fruition. That's how you manifest. That's how you create, right? That's first you believe in it's possible, then you know it, or you think it's possible, and faith, having you believe, you think you know the end result, even though you might have no reason to believe that. And then fruition, of course, when if it comes into the physical. And so you can see that the same way, I guess. It's having non-resistance. That's belief, just giving in to the possibility of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And then faith, taking on divine activity, accepting the will of God, faith, having faith in that. So it's the same thing. And then the fulfillment of divine will, it's the same thing. So I'm glad you said that. Belief, faith, fruition. That's another way to put it. That's simpler and probably a better way to word it. Belief, faith, and fruition. And those are the 3 steps to manifesting. Okay. Some people are leaving that stuff out, and it's not really helping anyone if you're not getting tools that you can use in your everyday life. Like when you're sick or something's happening, you can't believe that you're sick. You have to believe that you're well. Even if that sounds crazy to think that your mind is going to affect whatever illness or whatever's going on in your body, you have to do that, right? And this is what Jesus is showing you, that you can do this. You can embody the consciousness of God. Like, God can't be sick, right? Allah cannot be sick. So you have to believe it. You have to have faith in it. You have to know that it's true, even though everything is telling you that it's not. And once you really buy in and connect like that, then everything physically is going to have to rush to make it. Creates a vacuum. So everything has to rush to make that happen for you. Okay, and that's how you conquer death on a daily basis, right? So let me see where we leave off. Okay, so yeah, if we do this, we're conquering death on a regular basis. Okay. And Jesus said, "Behold, for I am risen from the dead. Look at my hands, my feet, my side. The Roman soldiers pierced my hands and feet with nails, and then one pierced my heart. They put me in a tomb, and then I wrestled with the conqueror of man. I conquered death. I stamped upon him and arose." Okay, and so remember that he was in the tomb, but we know that, like, being in that tomb for 3 days, that's like the brother Jackson Bay said, that's belief, faith, and fruition. Okay? So the long way of saying it is the 3 steps in overcoming, error. First is non-resistance and humility, which is just belief, and then faith and fruition. I'm not even going to read the long version of it. Belief, faith, fruition. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. Islam. So belief, faith, fruition. When Jesus was in the tomb, those are the 3 steps he's demonstrating, because they put him in there for how many days? 3. Okay. So when you see that, if you see that in another somewhere else concerning Jesus, 3 steps, that's more than likely what it's really talking about. It's just reminding you. So behold, for I am risen from the dead. Look at my hands, my feet, my side. The Roman soldiers pierced my hands and feet with nails, and then one pierced my heart. They put me in the tomb. And then I wrestled with the conqueror of men. I conquered death. I stamped upon him and rose, brought immortality to light, and painted on the walls of time a rainbow for the sons of men. And what I did, all men shall do. So he's in, maybe he's speaking in code, or this is written in code, so that those who are profane, who can't handle this power of being able to consciously create, right? The message is written so that they have to step their game up to be able to handle this type of power. So it's spoken in code, like, oh, I was in the tomb for 3 days. But he's speaking about the 3 steps to manifesting, creating your reality consciously. That's power. And then he's letting it be known. This is not just for him. This is for all men, but not respective to gender, right? It's for all of us, for the sons of men. What I did, all men shall do. This gospel of the resurrection of the dead is not confined to Jew and Greek. It is the heritage of every man, of every time and clime. And I am here a demonstrator of the power of man, which just goes right back to Surah 2, ayat 30, ayat 34, where Allah lets the angels know that he placed man here to be his vice regent, his ruler on his behalf. So Jesus is fulfilling this and returning this to us. I am here a demonstrator of the power of man. Then he arose and pressed hard the hand of every man and of the royal host and said, behold, I am not myth made of the fleeting winds, for I am flesh and bone and brawn, but I can cross the borderland at will. Okay, but remember, he said, all of us can do this. And then they talked, and that's where the Christianity thing gets it lost, and that's why the chapters 2 through 19 are returning these keys to us, because we're, whether you grew up in the church or not, or you just were exposed to it, like most of us at least were exposed to it, they didn't give us these keys, right? They held Jesus up like he was the Son of God and he was special, and not letting you know that he was an example for all of us. We can all do these things. And then they're not even giving you the keys to manifestation, what it really means, right? They're looking at it just as a historical thing or something. So they're not giving you the keys, the power. So behold, I already read that. And they talked together there a long, long time. Then Jesus said, I go my way, but you shall go to all the world and teach the gospel of the omnipotence of man, the power of truth, the resurrection of the dead. Okay, so omnipotent, that's something that's usually only applied to God. He who believes this gospel of the Son of Man shall never die. The dead shall live again. Remember, though, he's talking about manifesting. This is how you conquer death, conquering your current situation, whatever it is that you are overcoming. Islam, we have a question.
Islam. Rise and give praise to Allah. Honor to his prophet. Honors to all you Moors in attendance. I just wanted to add, if we look at the message behind the message, this is the power of truth, Islam, and we use these to raise the dead. That's anything that's not working for us is dead, Islam. So in order to, it's like alchemy. We're changing the frequencies. We're bringing something that is dead to us, that doesn't serve us, and we are changing its molecular structure in our mind so that it is alive for us the way we need to use it, or the way we want to use it. Islam.
Peace. That correlates with the Valley of the Dry Bones.
Islam, can you repeat that, brother?
I said that correlates with the Valley of the Dry Bones. I want to say that's in Isaiah.
Islam. And like Noble Drew Ali used these to raise the dead in us because they took the light away from us. Remember, that was their whole purpose in this world, is to stomp out the light from our people, from our community. Noble Drew Ali brought that light back, and with that light, he brought life. You know, he brought that holy breath back into us so that we could waken up and rise, Islam, to be who we truly are. Islam.
Right, Islam. So this is the thing that's been left out. This is where the power truly is. Like I said, they what we were most of us were exposed to is just that Jesus was this exalted entity, that, you know, it wasn't that he's an example, that he did this, that we can all do this. And then what is this that, you know, the resurrection, coming back from the dead? It's like, well, no, yeah, but no. Well, how about the real key is creating your reality on a regular basis, having the power and keys to overcome sickness, anything. And it starts with belief, like the brother Jackson Bay said, belief, faith, fruition, the 3 steps. And if you can remember that, no matter what type of jam you're in, whether it's the car breaking down on the side of the road or what, you can make the impossible happen. Okay? So, you know, he's returning those keys to us. And that's, you know, really where, you know, the everyday power that you can use on a regular basis, how it can be relevant to you. And that's what was being left out.
Islam. And we're speaking from a point where we actually use these principles every day in our lives, and we have been for years. And there's so many times where we've been caught up in jams. Like when we first moved here, we bought a car and we was taking it all over the place, and it was messing up, and it actually quit on us on the expressway coming back from New York or somewhere. We was Connecticut maybe. And we just kind of you know, the children, it was hot, they were complaining, it was little crying, you know, we just closed our eyes and saw us on the road home. I said, everybody just think about us being home. And we turned the key and the car started. I mean, stuff like, people, you know, don't see the magic in things like this when things are going wrong, and you flip it right then and there in an instant, and it turns, you know, back right for you. It is real, and it starts in the mind and in the heart of the mind. You got to find that one, because you can't just be like, yeah, I agree with that, I feel that, I believe that, but not really. Because if you look at your life and you look at your situations, you know, like anybody could tell, like, you know, if you go into the gym, you want to lose weight, right? And you telling people you eating right, but you at home eating snacks all day, like we could tell, right? Islam, like you can't lie to the Most High. You could lie to everybody else. We could see the truth eventually, right? If it's not working out, that means you're not doing something right. You're not really following it. You don't really believe in it. Just like in all the movies that we watch, you know, it's always the underdog, they can't do something, and then they finally find their power, and then they rise up for the occasion. Islam.
Islam. So we're gonna go back in here. Okay. So verse 18, and they talked together a long time. Then Jesus said, I go my way, but you shall go to all the world and teach the gospel of the omnipotence of man, the power of truth, the resurrection of the dead. He who believes this gospel of the Son shall never die, the dead shall live again. Then Jesus disappeared, but he had sown the seed. The words of life were spoken in Orissa, and all of India heard. The Magian priests were in the silence of Persepolis and Casper, and the Magian masters, who were first to greet the child of promise in the shepherd's home in Bethlehem, were with the priests. And Jesus came and sat with them. A crown of light was on his head. And when the silence ended, Casper said, a master from the royal council of the silent brotherhood is here. Let us give praise. And all the priests and masters stood and said, all hail. What message from the royal council do you bring? And Jesus said, my brothers of the silent brotherhood, peace on earth, goodwill to men. The problem of the age has been solved. A son of man has risen from the dead, has shown that human flesh can be transformed into flesh divine. Okay, so he's letting you know that the physical realm can be transformed into flesh divine. So coming from you, you can transform from the unseen realm. You can manifest it into the physical. Okay. And if you think about it, alchemy, for those that have heard about alchemy before, that's really what they were working on. That's what they were trying to do so hard, trying to change less valuable elements into gold, transmute. But it's really about manifesting, creating your reality. Okay. Before the eyes of man, this flesh in which you come to, in which come to you, was changed with speed of light from human flesh. And so I am the message that I bring to you. To you I come, the first of the the first of the race to be transmuted to the image of Allah. What I have done, all men will do, and what I am, all men shall be. But Jesus said no more. In one short breath, he told the story of his mission to the sons of men, and then he disappeared. The Magi said some time ago, we read this promise, now fulfilled upon the dial plate of heaven. And then we saw this man who has just demonstrated unto us the power of man to raise from carnal flesh and blood to flesh of Allah, a babe in Bethlehem. And after many years, he came and sat with us in these same groves. He told the story of his human life, his trials, sore temptation, buffeting, and woes. He pressed along the thorny way of life till he had risen and overthrown the strongest foes of Allah and man. And he is now the only master of the human race whose flesh has been transmuted into flesh divine. He's the God-man of today. But everyone on earth shall overcome and be like him, son of Allah, a son of Allah. And so that's, once again, that's the message. That's what they leave out, especially in my experience in the Christian church, and probably with most of you. And not saying that to knock Christianity or anything, just saying that they left that out. And that's something that they leave out of all the religions. Going to back to that last verse, 37, you could say that corresponds with Surah 84, verse 6 in the Holy Quran, where it says, "O man, thou must strive a hard striving to attain to thy Lord until thou meet him." And also in the Bible, in Matthew's 5, verse 48, it says, Before ye therefore perfect, even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. Okay, and just speaking about him attaining to, I guess you could say Allah and man, making it one. And that was Matthew 5, verse 48. But in John chapter 3, verse 1, it says, behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God, the sons of Allah, right there in the Bible. They don't tell us that, do they? You'll never hear that people saying that, referring to, regular people in church. They don't say that. But it says that in John 3, verse 1, behold, what manner of love that the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. And then verse 2, beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when we shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. And then also in John 14:12, it says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth in me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And this is Jesus speaking about us, all of us, saying that you shall do even greater works than him. Okay? And so that's where the power lies and how this applies to all of us. And this is why, for those who are wondering why the prophet's talking about Jesus, right? He's giving you the secrets, which are held back. Okay, we're being miseducated and not given the keys to your true enlightenment, how to really uplift yourself. And that's why we spoke on this. Does anybody have any questions about that, chapter 19? All right. Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and move on. If there's anything else anyone needs to speak on or has any questions, feel free to speak up now. The floor is open.
Y'all quiet on a holy day, Islam.
Islam.
Islam. I was just gonna say that whole thing is like I didn't even know. I came through way of Jehovah's Witness, non-Trinitarian Christianity before I growing up or whatever. But I never heard the first 2 verses from John. That says we are gods. Sounding like Psalms and stuff. They don't really put that in. They don't really read that part. How Sunday services, they jump around. You feel what I'm saying? Go from John to Ezekiel to Lamentations and stuff. So I definitely never heard that John, or probably it never crossed. But Islam. That's what I wanted to bring. They never try to tell us that we have part of divinity, part of Christ, part of Allah in ourselves and stuff. So when now that I think about it, after we go through the belief, faith, and fruition that we of our identity, you feel me, being Moors, and then also past that being the vice regent of Allah, that's the resurrection in itself. Just really having belief and faith and fruition in this whole nationality, and not only that, just the part of God that's in us, and then once we realize that, like Jesus said, I'm the message that I bring to you, So
Islam, it's almost like they have operating off of a program, like when they're preaching, where they can only talk about certain things and they're only giving you a certain perspective on it, and they're not giving you like the hidden meaning or anything that that you can apply as far as manifesting, creating your reality, and taking the power, realizing the God's within you. So, and then the few that do, they caught flack for that. I think things are changing now, but you still have a lot that are still holding the people back. So, I'm not saying it to knock the church, but it's it's a shame what they're doing, and that's why we needed a prophet to come and return this to us. Religious controversies on the screen. I'll read that really quickly. religious controversy in this age. There is still much religious controversy as to the right thing, and that's still in this day and age. Big and powerful ministers have come to the conclusion that something is wrong. Some say it's the Ten Commandments. Others say there's a lack of sincerity in the purpose of the churches. Still others think it is all worthless and not fit for the time it takes to attend them. However, or whatever their final decision might be, it is certain they will make a change, or rather try to make one. The fact of the matter is that they've always had only a reflection of the truth and not the real thing. Like one who holds up to the sun a mirror and casts a few of its diverted rays in different directions. So have they done with the truth that is supposed to come from the east. And there's a preacher who made the transition, but his name is Reverend Ike. And he was saying how the school, the seminary school, that's what they call it, where the preachers go, people go to become priests and preachers, get their degree. He called it the cemetery, you know, I forgot what the whole theological seminary or something. He called it the cemetery because they're focused on, they're not giving these true meanings. They're not giving the life-giving hidden secrets, the hidden message, the true message. They're not giving that, right? And so that's still going on to this day, and it's a shame. And like, yeah, but I can't even be in church like that because it's, you know, the message is dead. There's no life there. There's nothing powerful or enlightening. There are but a few people who know what the truth is about man, and the few know that it is foolish to try to impart it to the ignorant. Although the ignorant has finished college, he's a fool, right on, being trained to jump through a hoop. The longer he stays in the schools, the better he can jump, and the more he defends his jumping. From the east comes all light, and though the sun is hanging at high noon, the blind cannot see. The same as the Islamic creed from the east was brought to the Asiatics of America by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and offered to those who were sick at heart, tried for many years, yet they are blind and cannot see the light. Nor is the Prophet trying to put new wine in old skins, for he knows that it will burst them. Still, he has the only remedy for the nations, the remedy brought by Jesus, Muhammad, Confucius, and all the other prophets, which remedy is truth. The nations do not want the truth. It is too stern. Until they accept it and find out where it is, there will continue to be religious controversy. So wrapping that up, that's also why the message is good that we build and look at the meaning behind the message, because it's worded in a way that will go over people's heads if they're not ready for it. Okay? You have to be patient and be able to study more or do whatever you need to do to gain more insight, or to be able to look at things a little deeper, to see if there's more that's being said there and more than just a story being told. Okay, so yeah, that's all I had to say about today's measure. I want to announce, without further ado, we're going to go into the closing of the meeting. Brother Jackson Bay, would you please read the additional laws?
Islam. Give me a minute. Hold on. Islam additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1, grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples and all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any member, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the support of any member or any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restrictions, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2, all members are to attend their added meetings and their public meetings properly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If a member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3, It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able to give finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hand, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members while making public speeches must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radically against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out of your Sunday school come the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Islam, Islam, Islam.
Islam. All right. Thank you, brother. Okay. Gonna read to be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. But now, now since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they're working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I've notified all these things unto you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. This is the instruction from your prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is on now, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Drew Ali, and that is why many hearts have been turned to stone, and many have eyes to see, but cannot see, ears to hear, but cannot hear, lest they will be confounded of their sins. These are the trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, those last two lines kind of stuck out to me. But, okay, Prophet warns all Muslims to be read in every meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical speeches while in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the noble prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people for their sinful ways. Peace, Noble Drew Ali. I'm thankful for all of you faithful Moorish American Muslims. Glad you all were here today. Hopefully, inshallah, we'll see you Sunday at the Serpent Mounds. We're not going to do the Zoom call on Sunday. So for anyone who's not able to make it, we'll just resume. Well, the members, our members meeting Thursday. Okay. And then, of course, Holy Day on Friday. So peace and love to all you Moors. If anyone has any questions, though, just send a message or type it in a Facebook chat. We're